Welcome to Pax Europiana, the podcast about peace and prosperity. Here I'm in front of the monument for Albanian Independence. 1912, Albania declared independence in Flora, in the southern capital at that time. It couldn't do it in Tirana because the capital was at that time Durrës, but it was occupied by Serb forces, and it was very, very close to being integrated, occupied into Serbia at that time. And then the Austrians intervened heavily with an ultimatum against Serbia to withdraw. That was the moments of independence, and then later the ultimatum in 1913. And so Albania became an independent country before the First World War, which was so important because otherwise, after World War I, it wouldn't have had the case for independence, which then the Americans supported, and the Albanians fought for their freedom again in the Independence War in 1919 against the Italians, the Greeks, and the Serbs and everybody, and they prevailed. Luckily, Albania was again. I'm here in the Ukrainian shirt because also Ukraine is a country at this dangerous periphery between Russia, Serbia, and the free world. And Ukraine is fighting today, and it's fighting for its freedom. And it's great that Albania is in full solidarity. Ukraine has not recognized Kosovo. That's a bit of a mistake, but it will come. And I was also present at the Kosovo independence. I showed you that one as well, and I was personally there as well in 2008. And that is very important that Ukraine recognizes Kosovo. But back to Albania. 110 years it's today, this year in November, and I called the Albanian authorities to make a big 110 years celebration. I don't understand why Prime Minister Rama seems not to be so interested in this historic date. And Prime Minister Berisha made a big celebration in 2012. I was there as well. It was with the Skandar Bey sword helmet coming back in the National Museum. It was amazing. President Nishani was at the Austrian-Albanian celebrations for the 100 years. It was very special, and Mr. Großrock, it was really very good. And we Austrians, I think we will celebrate 110 years because for us it's very important, the freedom and NATO membership of Albania. Of course, then the very important moment of EU accession, which hopefully will come very soon. I'm for 2024. But it would be good to have a very big celebration of the 110 years here in Albania, in Flora, everywhere, to make the case that Europe has established Albania. It was the Italians, the Austrians together, the British ultimately, and the West has helped Albania to be free against the will of Serbia and against the will of Turkey. And the Russians obviously in the background here. And then, because they wanted to have Durrës, Serbia was just a proxy for them to have access to the Mediterranean. So it is already back then Albania was an ally, and so depending on support of the West. And it's now time for full membership in the European Union. And a big celebration of 110 years would be so logical a case to crystallize the support for what I say 2024 is possible. Yes, it's possible. It's not easy. I know that as well. But it's entirely possible. And it is, I think, when you look at the memory of the great heroes who under the most difficult circumstances, and this, the elite, the landowners and the members of the Ottoman parliament, they broke away. You see Elbasan, these were basically the elected representatives of the Ottoman Empire. Under the Young Turks, they had already elections. And then these people, they said, we have to break away because Albania always wanted to break away. They had a revolution in 1909, in 1910, in 1911. They wanted to fight, and they were fighting. But of course, Ottoman Empire was still strong. There was little support. Then the Serbs made the Balkan War, and everybody wanted to take Albania parts and piecemeal. And then they rejected it, and they fought for freedom. And this was the heroes of that years. And I think we should all honor them, and the nations who fight for freedom, they know the value of freedom. It's for the Ukrainians, the Albanians, the Kosovo Albanians. We Austrians, we are a little bit lazy because the Americans always protect us because we are somehow nice people, and we are then very anti-American for that. I'm ashamed of my nation very often because of its anti-Americanism, anti-NATO stance, anti-Albanianism, and this lack of conviction for freedom, everything for granted. Just eat, no work. This is the wrong Anyhow, I call for a very big 110 years celebration with the focus of EU membership. That should be the platform. Albania has deserved it. Albania is ready for EU membership, and that would be the best strategy. I will do my very best, I pledge it, to get Albania in the European Union 2024. I will focus as well on Montenegro and North Macedonia. Montenegro more advanced already. Since 10 years I say learning from Montenegro is learning to win. Mr. Rama has not done the euro against my recommendation. Yeah? He has increased the taxes against my recommendation. He has not integrated Ukraine in CEFTA and regional cooperation against my recommendation. Yeah? He has not created Balkan Benelux with Kosovo, Montenegro, Macedonia. He has worked with Serbia against my recommendation. He has endorsed and given credibility to pro-Russian Vucic against my recommendation. Yeah? What shall I do with this guy? And now he will not do a big thing for 110 years. What should I do, really? Then he put a general for the president instead of really pro-European people with a good heart and mind for the European future. I mean, okay, it's a complicated country. It's on all sides very complicated. I understand that some in Europe get a headache when I say Albania can be the same level like Montenegro. But of course, Macedonia and Albania are a bit more complicated, I know that. But if we do the opening now, why not do all the three countries, and then we have the NATO allies in, and the NATO allies should be in the European Union. European NATO allies, obviously, not Turkey, not Canada, I know that. But of course, Albania, Montenegro, North Macedonia, and yes, we can do that. And we will win the war in Ukraine because we are more united and we are strong and we are the West and we will win. And we can integrate Albania. It's a bit expensive, it's a bit complicated, but it's absolutely doable, and it's actually a very nice country. And here it will be. I give you a last round from this park, you know already. I will try to show you a little bit of other landscapes and call for the euro now in a second. And just here, let me honor the heroes of 1912. It was very hard for them. It was a courageous thing to do. They did the right thing, and I'm very happy to be here and to celebrate 110 years with the Albanian public. Thanks a lot. More to come from Pax Europiana. Bye.